What makes your customers buy? Why are they attracted to you? And what is going to make them pull the trigger and purchase from you? I'm back and I want to share with you some tips on what I think you could do to create a better customer experience. So let's go ahead and dive in. First thing is to create the right infrastructure for your business. And I talked about this before. You have to have a solid foundation, but you also need a strong infrastructure which can handle the bandwidth of your customers when they start coming in. Because part of having a poor customer experience is not having all of your ducks in a row for that experience. So that's what I'm talking about when I say the infrastructure for your business. Let's say you get a ton of people that come in from a campaign that you ran. If you don't have the right way to process those emails, if you don't have your email system set up so that they get an automated email, maybe something of value that will make them keep coming back, or having a system just in general for handling email marketing, or maybe you don't have the components to create the landing page in the first place. These are the types of things that are going to be vital inside that campaign, post-campaign, right? Because you have to have a way to handle the bandwidth. So when I'm speaking about the infrastructure, I'm thinking about the things that are going to keep people inside your funnel longer, that's going to give you what you need to make sure that you are doing the checks and balances of new customers coming in versus new people that are just new to your brand and you need to nurture them, to all the way down to the payment structure. How are they going to be able to make the purchase? What happens after the purchase? These are all things that are going to make for a positive customer experience, but that is the infrastructure, and that needs to be strong. I mentioned before, solid foundation, which we've talked about many times here, your personal framework, and then now a strong infrastructure with your systems and processes and templates even. And I had a fun little analogy for templates, so go back and check that out in some of the videos. The next thing is to understand what makes your customers buy in the first place. Why are they attracted to you, and what is going to make them pull the trigger and purchase from you? I've struggled with this in the past, and what it boils down to is getting down into the nitty-gritty with your customer to find out where they're going to get the things that they need now, why, what the trigger is that makes them go get the thing in the first place, their attitudes toward the thing, where they're going, and how that thing is attracting them. And doing your homework and figuring these things out, because just like in a real friendship, people just don't become your friend, right? You have to have something in common with them. They have to be able to relate to you. You have to be able to relate to them. There have to be some sort of mutual ground that you guys can stand on together to allow your relationship to flourish. So the same thing applies when you are creating a positive customer experience for your ideal audience. Find out what they need and give it to them. It sounds simple enough, but when we get so excited about what we're bringing to the table, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to think about the other person, because we so desperately want to help them with the problem we know we can solve for them that we don't ever stop to think, well, wow, what do they really need and where are they in their process? So if you want to provide a positive customer experience, you have to think about these things before you just kind of shoot off and go do whatever it is you want to. Trust me, when I first did course creation years ago, I remember I created this amazing program. I was so excited about it. Never asked the soul what they needed. Never asked anybody to do a beta test of it. I was just like, yes, this is perfect. This is what I want them to know. Flop. Major flop. Because I never asked anyone. I didn't understand the process. Once I started to realize that I needed to share the program first, get people's opinions, get the questions that they have, and kind of fine tune it a little bit, test it out a little bit, then I'll know what some of those questions are people have. When you do your homework and really find out what your customer needs, provides an amazing customer experience, not only in the beta, but then once you get it out there and you start actually selling your product or service, you know it's tested, tried and true, and you're prepared to meet your audience where they are, make them feel like you are really in it for them. That is attractive. That's what builds friendships and makes people keep coming back, because you constantly know what they need and you're there to serve. If you struggled in this area, I would certainly encourage you to join the CEO Circle, because these mindsets are things that we are shifting every single month. We're talking about how we can change the way we think about something so that we can better serve our customers, better operate in our business, be better in our personal lives. The third thing is you want to become a storyteller. Last October, I went to my college homecoming, and the year before I did like a vlog of homecoming, but this last year, instead of like just showing pictures with music and all of that stuff, I sat down after the fact and I told the story of our homecoming experience. And I got so many compliments about, oh wow, you're a great storyteller. Oh, I love the way you did that this year. And it just something triggered in me. And I was like, oh gosh, well then I'm gonna go, again, part of constantly evolving, I'm gonna go and learn how to be a better storyteller. So I suggest that you do the same thing for a customer experience. They wanna hear how you evolved, how your process works for not only yourself, but other customers. They wanna hear you give them a nice narrative that they can stand on, you know, to prove that your suggestions work, that you're gonna give them what they need. If you did not watch my 12 days of reindeer games, you should go back and look at that, because on day 12, I talked about why people buy. And there are 5 different storylines, if you will, as to why people purchase. And if you understand those things, then you can construct a narrative around that when you're selling your products or service. So you want to become a good storyteller. That is also going to help you create an amazing customer experience. And I don't know, you saw earlier on some of the footage when I was in the store in McKinney. It was so much fun. I always love going to that store. We have great conversations. I learned, because I communicate with them and we talk and we engage, I learned that she was engaged, and we talked about her wedding. And when I'm looking at different pieces of jewelry, there's always a story. There was a candle that she had. They didn't have it in the size I wanted, but we had a conversation about how she puts it in her bathroom and all that stuff. So engaging with them, having a narrative and a story to tell makes an amazing positive experience, and it keeps me coming back to that store. So I take it from someone who knows. All right, so then the next thing and the last thing that I would suggest for you is, if you don't want your customers to be overwhelmed and frustrated with their customer experience, then I would suggest that you simplify your sales funnel. And this is something that I have really decided to take my own advice this new year, because when you get things too complicated, say you meet someone and instead of you just giving them the information, the link to the thing, you say, oh, well, go to my website, and they get to your website and they've got to find the opt-in, or they do the opt-in and it leads them to another opt-in, and then they finally get the thing, and then you just take them through all these different rabbit holes just to get the one piece of information that they wanted. That gives them more opportunity to get lost or opt out of the funnel and just not even continue on, or just kind of leave an empty cart, if you will. You don't want that. Simplify your sales funnel so that they don't have but 1-2 things tops that they have to do before you start to provide them with your value. So simplify your sales funnel process. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this week's conversation, because I think that moving forward in this year, these are things that I want to do for myself more. I want to do more of these things to continue, if you will, my customers' positive experience. Let me know in the comments. Did it help? Something that you want to know more about? Do I need to do a deeper dive into something else? But until then, definitely subscribe if you're new, if you've made it this far. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. But at the same time, check out the CEO Circle and join us in these conversations, especially if you want to change your mindset throughout the remainder of the year. We're just getting started, guys. So go ahead and get that mind right. All right, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye, guys.